Imagine a time before central heating, before supermarkets, before modern medicine. Picture a world where the only warmth came from a small fire, and food was what you could grow, hunt, or store. This was the reality for medieval Europe, where winter was not just a season but a formidable adversary. Winter in medieval Europe was a formidable foe, particularly for peasant communities. The snow and ice transformed the landscape into a frozen, unyielding expanse, making travel and communication difficult. Villages were often isolated, cut off from each other by the harsh weather. The cold was relentless, biting through meager clothing and chilling homes to the bone. Peasants had to rely on layers of wool and fur, but even these were often insufficient against the bitter cold. Homes made of wood and thatch offered little insulation, and the wind would seep through every crack and crevice. Food, already scarce, became even more precious as the land lay dormant. Fields that were lush and green in the summer were now barren and covered in snow. The harvests of autumn had to be carefully rationed to last through the long winter months. Any miscalculation could mean starvation. Survival was a daily struggle demanding resilience, ingenuity, and a strong sense of community. Neighbors depended on each other for support, sharing what little they had. Tasks like gathering firewood, repairing homes, and caring for the sick were communal efforts. The lack of modern amenities made winter a constant threat to the health and well-being of the peasantry. Without proper medical care, even minor illnesses could become deadly. The cold and damp conditions were perfect breeding grounds for diseases like pneumonia and influenza. Disease spread more easily in cramped, poorly ventilated homes. Families often lived in single-room houses where the air was thick with smoke from the fire and the smell of unwashed bodies. In such close quarters, it was easy for sickness to spread from one person to another. Malnutrition was a constant worry as food stores dwindled. The lack of fresh produce meant that diets were limited to preserved meats, grains, and whatever could be foraged. This led to deficiencies in essential vitamins and minerals, weakening the body's ability to fight off illness. The harsh conditions meant that only the strong and resourceful could weather the storm of winter. Those who survived did so through sheer determination, creativity, and the unwavering support of their community. Winter in medieval Europe was a test of endurance, a battle against the elements that shaped the lives and destinies of its people. Peasant homes, often simple one-room structures, offered little protection from the elements. Built from wattle and daub, a mixture of mud, straw, and animal dung, these dwellings were poorly insulated. Windows, if they existed, were small and covered with oiled cloth or animal bladders, allowing minimal light and trapping in smoke from the ever-burning hearth. To combat the drafts that whistled through cracks and crevices, peasants stuffed walls with straw and rags. Rugs woven from wool or animal hides covered the dirt floors, providing a meager barrier against the cold. Livestock often shared the living space, their body heat offering a welcome, if smelly, source of warmth. The hearth, a simple fire pit often located in the center of the home, was the literal and figurative heart of peasant life during winter. It provided warmth for cooking, heating, and light. Families huddled around the flickering flames, sharing stories, mending clothes, and seeking comfort from the biting cold. Gathering firewood was a constant chore, with women and children often tasked with scavenging fallen branches and twigs from nearby forests. The fire had to be carefully tended, kept burning day and night to ward off the ever-present chill. Running out of fuel meant facing the full brunt of winter's icy grip. Warm clothing was essential for surviving the medieval winter. Peasants relied on layers of woolen garments to trap body heat. Sheep's wool, readily available and relatively inexpensive, was spun into rough but effective fabrics. Tunics, leggings, and cloaks provided essential insulation against the cold. Animal hides, often tanned using urine and animal brains, offered additional warmth and protection from the elements. Fur hats, mittens, and cloaks were prized possessions, offering superior insulation against the biting wind and snow. Footwear consisted of simple leather boots, often stuffed with straw for added warmth. Section 5. Winter's Bounty, Preserving the Fruits of Labor. Food preservation was crucial for surviving the lean winter months. The harvest, gathered in the fall, had to last until spring. Peasants relied on a variety of techniques to prevent spoilage and stretch their limited supplies. Drying was a common method for preserving meat and fish. Thinly sliced strips were hung over the fire or in a smokehouse, the heat and smoke inhibiting bacterial growth. Root vegetables like turnips and carrots were stored in underground pits or cellars, protected from frost and kept cool. Grains like wheat and barley were stored in dry granaries, safe from rodents and moisture. Section 6A, Community United, sharing the burden of winter. Winter in medieval Europe was not a time for solitary survival. Peasant communities relied on each other for support, sharing resources and labor to ensure everyone's well-being. Neighbors helped neighbors with tasks like gathering firewood, repairing roofs, and caring for the sick. The village church played a central role in fostering a sense of community and providing assistance to those in need. Charity, often distributed by the church, helped sustain the most vulnerable members of society. Feasts and celebrations, held during the long winter nights, offered opportunities for socializing, entertainment, and a welcome respite from the harsh realities of the season. Section 7. Faith and festivities, finding solace in dark times. Religion provided solace and hope during the dark days of winter. The Christmas season, a time of celebration and religious observance, offered a welcome break from the hardships of daily life. People gathered for church services, shared meals, and exchanged gifts, however simple. Folklore and superstition also played a role in shaping people's understanding of winter. Traditional beliefs and rituals, passed down through generations, offered a sense of control over the unpredictable forces of nature. Storytelling, often centered around themes of survival, courage, and hope, provided entertainment and strengthened social bonds. Section 8. The cycle endures spring's promise, a beacon of hope. As winter wore on, the promise of spring sustained the spirits of medieval peasants. The harsh, cold months were a test of endurance, with limited food supplies and the ever-present chill. Yet the knowledge that spring would eventually arrive kept hope alive in their hearts. The lengthening days and the first signs of new life in the fields offered a glimmer of hope after months of hardship. The sight of sprouting plants and the gradual warming of the earth were like nature's own promises that better days were ahead. Each new bud and sprout was a testament to the resilience of life. Spring meant the return of warmth, the thawing of the land, and the promise of a new harvest. The once frozen ground began to soften, allowing peasants to prepare their fields for planting. This was a time of renewed energy and activity as the community came together to work the land. With the arrival of spring, peasant communities emerged from their winter isolation, ready to resume the cycle of life and labor. The village, which had been quiet and still during the winter, now buzzed with activity. People greeted each other with renewed vigor, sharing stories of survival and plans for the future. The land, once barren and frozen, would once again provide sustenance. Fields that had lain dormant under a blanket of snow began to show signs of life. The first green shoots were a welcome sight, signaling the start of a new growing season and the hope of a bountiful harvest. The hardships endured during the winter months served as a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of community, resilience, and ingenuity. These qualities were essential for survival, and spring was a time to celebrate them. The community's collective efforts ensured that they could face the challenges of the new season with strength and optimism. Section 9. Legacy of resilience, the enduring spirit of medieval peasants. The story of how medieval peasants survived the winter is a testament to the enduring human spirit. Despite the harsh conditions, they found ways to persevere and thrive. Their lives were a constant struggle against the elements, yet they managed to create a sense of normalcy and community. Faced with challenges that would seem insurmountable to many today, they relied on their resourcefulness. Using every available resource to its fullest potential, they repaired their homes with whatever materials they could find, collected firewood to keep their families warm, and cooked simple yet nourishing meals over open fires. Their strong sense of community was a cornerstone of their survival. They shared food, helped each other with daily chores, and gathered together to support one another. This communal spirit was essential in overcoming the many hardships they faced. Their unwavering faith also played a crucial role. Whether through prayer, attending church, or participating in festivals, their spiritual beliefs provided them with hope and strength. This faith was a guiding light during the darkest of times. Their story offers valuable lessons for us today, reminding us of the importance of community, the power of resilience, and the need for ingenuity in the face of adversity. In a world that often feels disconnected, their example shows us the strength that comes from unity and cooperation. The medieval peasants' ability to come together for communal projects, celebrate their small victories, and support one another through thick and thin is a powerful reminder of what we can achieve when we work together. Their ingenuity was not limited to survival. It extended to their crafts and daily work. Blacksmiths, builders, and weavers all played vital roles in their communities, creating tools, shelters, and clothing that were essential for their way of life. Though their world may seem distant and different from our own, their ability to adapt, overcome, and find hope in the darkest of times continues to inspire. Their legacy of resilience is a testament to the enduring human spirit. Their story is not just one of survival, but of thriving against the odds. They maintained their homes, cared for their families, and found joy in the simple pleasures of life, even in the harshest conditions. The enduring spirit of medieval peasants is a powerful reminder that no matter the challenges we face, we too can find hope, strength, and resilience. Their story continues to inspire us to this day.